Spending time alone can be the greatest gift you can give yourself and others. And I found that in my life, this has been what really rejuvenates me and brings me back to center. I've spent a lot of my life spending time alone since I was a child, being homeschooled out in the woods and, building tree forts and having my own imaginary worlds going on out there in the forest. And I spent a lot of time by myself. And into my adult life, I've chosen more of that solitude. And I definitely connect with other people and have really beautiful relationships and friendships in my life. But it's so important to me to take this time to myself, take the time that I need to be alone with myself, to come back into balance, to choose myself first, choose my own relationship with myself, and to really nourish that above all else. So I want to put it out there for you to try this too if you don't already do it. Or if you do it, just maybe do it some more, or really take that time to be present in yourself and be present with what's going on inside of you instead of using something to numb out or distract yourself. But use that time for awareness, for an awareness practice, for a meditation, for just an inward look into yourself, into where you are right now in your life, and like emotionally speaking, with your thoughts, and take that time to grow and experience who you are. I can really, really use this time that I have to myself for, to me, what's the most beneficial thing that I can be doing with my time, which is keeping myself in good relationship with me. And that might sound funny, but there's our physical bodies, and then there's our internal state of being, our God source self that is having this relationship at all times. And when you stay connected with that inner intelligence and that inner, and have that connection between you and you, what I found is that's the way that I can be of most value to the world and really show up in my best self and really be of benefit to others in the biggest ways that I can, and show up with love and kindness because I've treated myself with that, and because I've stayed in connection with myself. And this is something that people, some of the most impactful people in society have been the most loner kind of, very different people that spent more time with themselves. And it's because they stayed in connection with themselves, with their inner being, with their God source energy, their whatever you want to call it. I call it source energy, but whatever you want to call it, they stayed in connection with that, and they prioritized that with themselves, and they kind of lived in this internal world and based their life from that. And this is something that when we understand it, and can really, it's not about you can't be social at all. It's prioritizing this connection first and really making sure that that is in a stable place, and coming back and coming back to that, so that whenever you can feel that you're off and getting distracted by the things that are going on in society or in relationships or friendships, you go back to this inner connection. And this inner connection we can feel at all times, and that's such the beautiful part about it, is because we can feel it at all times by how we're feeling. We can literally feel it by our emotions, by our feelings that are in connection or not, whether we are synced up or not. And so when we prioritize that connection and understand that connection, this is what I've dedicated my life to doing. This is what I practice every day, is this connection. Because I found that the most impactful thing I can do in my own life and the most impactful thing I can do in the world is by really caring about that connection that I'm talking about and how I feel, and which are hand in hand. And it's something that a lot of us have forgotten, and how we haven't been taught, and it's so important that, like, it's like, wouldn't that be awesome if that was taught in schools more, like having emotional intelligence and having connection with ourselves and practicing that connection instead of all these external, like, validations for who we are, that we're doing okay in the world, instead of looking at our inner validation by how we're feeling in each moment. And this is something that I feel is really passionate about, because I have had such an amazing change in my own life from utilizing the tools that I've learned and practicing this art, basically, this creative energy flow, this practice of staying in balance with myself. And really what that turns out to be is that I feel good. Like, I feel like I love my life and I enjoy my life and I'm happy most of the time. Like, you're not going to feel like that all the time, but the practice is doing that more and more of the time, and learning to do that in a variety of different situations. And also being okay with it when you're not there, appreciating those times when you're not there, because they are also beneficial. So not beating myself up when I'm not in a really great feeling place, and just acknowledging that that is there for me too. That's there for my benefit too. And that's helping me continue to evolve and change and become better at being me and being the person that I want to be. So try this out. If you haven't practiced this, if you haven't been aware of how you're feeling, or about, like, just your inner connection with yourself, if you haven't had a connection with an awareness of, like, your thoughts that you're thinking, and had the time to practice just being alone in your thoughts. And just because you're alone doesn't mean you're lonely. Those are two very different things. You can be alone and be very connected because you're connected with yourself, and that self is all thing. It's like the everything. So it's a connection with everything. So you could never get lonely from that place. So when you stay in that connection, you don't need these external things in your life. Those external things will come, but the real power and the pleasure of it is having that most important connection, that most important relationship in your life. So take some time to go be alone. Take some time to write and journal in the mornings, or whenever you have time in the day. Take 15 to 20 minutes a day to meditate. Take some time just to relax and imagine your best possible scenario of what your life can look like. Or take some time just to be aware of your thoughts and start telling a little bit better story. Start telling something that feels a little bit better to yourself. Tell yourself that you're doing good, that everything's working out, that things are coming together for you, that you'll know the right path when you see it, that there's no hurry. You don't have to get it done right now. That's just an example, but tell yourself something that feels a little better, and be kind to yourself. This is a relationship. Like, would you talk to your lover like you talk to yourself? Would you talk to your mom or your dad or your sister like you talk to yourself? maybe, but like be aware of like how you want to be and how you want to talk to them. If you do, maybe there's some improvement in all that. It's very possible. And I want you to really thrive and to feel empowered to be able to create the life that you want to live. So drop a comment below if you have been practicing any of the things that I've been talking about, or if this was beneficial to you. I'd love to know. Let me know what you're dreaming about in your life and what you want in your life. Have a great day. Bye.